Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to never miss out on the best dating and relationship advice for men. Whether you're crushing on someone or you've been texting a girl for a while, it's important to know when the signs point to something, well, less romantic. In today's video, we're diving into the key signs that she's just not into you, at least not over text. Let's get started. Sign 1. She never texts you first. First things first. If she's never texting you first, that's a major red flag. Now sure, some girls might be a little shy or cautious when it comes to texting. Maybe they're waiting for you to make the first move. But let me tell you this. If she's genuinely into you, she'll want to reach out eventually. She'll want to know how your day went. She'll miss talking to you, and she'll want to keep the conversation going. If days go by and the only time you hear from her is when you initiate the conversation, it might be time to reconsider things. Don't fall into the trap of thinking it's a strategy or game. Sometimes, it's just disinterest. Sign 2. Blue ticks, no replies. Next up, the dreaded blue ticks. We've all been there, right? You send her a message and she reads it, but that's all you get. No response. It's like she's deliberately leaving you hanging. Now let's be clear, sometimes people are busy. Life happens. But if this becomes a pattern, and she's consistently reading your texts without replying, or only replying hours or even days later, that's not a good sign. It suggests she doesn't really care to keep the conversation going. If she can't even take a moment to send a quick response, she's probably not as interested as you'd hope. Sign 3. Her replies are short or uninterested. So let's say she does respond, but her replies are, well, let's just say underwhelming. If her texts are consistently short, like one-word replies, or they seem cold or uninterested, that's a big clue. For example, you ask her how her day was, and all you get is good. Or you try to start a conversation, and she just replies with lol or okay. When someone is genuinely interested in you, they'll put effort into the conversation. They'll ask questions, they'll engage, and they'll show some enthusiasm. If it feels like you're pulling teeth just to get her to respond with more than one word, chances are she's not that into you. Sign 4. She only uses emojis. Here's another frustrating sign. You put effort into sending a thoughtful message, and all you get in return is a single emoji or some random abbreviation like IDK or BTW. It's almost like she's putting in the bare minimum effort to acknowledge your text without actually engaging in the conversation. A single thumbs up emoji after you ask her how her day was? Not a good sign. If she's only sending you emojis or abbreviations with no real effort to connect, it's probably because she's not that interested in talking to you. Sign 5. She takes hours or days to reply. Now, let's talk about response times. Of course, everyone has busy days when they can't respond immediately. That's normal. But if she's consistently taking hours or even days to respond to your messages, that's a pretty big sign that texting you isn't a priority for her. Think about it. When someone is interested, they're excited to text back, even if it's just a quick message to let you know they'll respond in more detail later. If she's taking forever to get back to you and this happens all the time, it's a signal that you're not top of mind for her. And honestly, you deserve someone who's excited to text you back. Sign 6. She goes offline when you're typing. Ever been in this situation? You send a message, you see that she's typing, and then suddenly, nothing. She goes offline without sending a reply. Now, sometimes this happens because people get distracted or they get busy, but if you notice this happening often, it could be a sign that she's hesitant to engage with you. It's almost like she started typing but thought, I don't really want to continue this conversation right now. It's subtle, but if it keeps happening, you might want to take note. Sign 7. She turns off her read receipts. Turning off read receipts is another subtle clue that things might not be going as well as you hoped. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people turn off read receipts for privacy reasons, or they just don't like the pressure of responding right away. But if she used to have them on and suddenly turned them off, it could be a way for her to avoid showing you when she's read your message and hasn't responded. It's not a guarantee that she's not into you, but when combined with other signs, it could mean she's trying to distance herself. Sign 8. She's often online but doesn't reply to you. This one stings, doesn't it? You see that she's online, active on social media, posting stories, maybe even liking other people's posts, but she still hasn't replied to your message. If she's got time to be online, but isn't taking a moment to respond to you, That's a clear sign that texting you isn't high on her list of priorities. If she wanted to, she'd make the time. If this happens consistently, it's time to reevaluate how much effort you're putting in. Sign 9. She doesn't check in on you. Here's another big sign. She never asks about you. If you find that you're the only one asking her how her day was, checking in on her or showing interest in her life, that's a one-sided effort. Relationships, even in the early stages, should be two-way streets. If she's never curious about what's going on in your life, it's likely because she's not that interested. Don't mistake politeness for interest. If she's into you, she'll want to know about your day too. Sign 10. She doesn't initiate calls or express interest beyond texting. If your relationship is limited to texting, and she never suggests meeting up or even talking on the phone, that's a pretty clear indicator that she's not looking for more. A girl who's interested in you will want to take things beyond just texting. She'll want to hear your voice, spend time with you, and build a deeper connection. If you're noticing that she's always dodging your calls or never initiating any herself, it's a sign that she's not really invested. Sign 11. She's always lazy to text you. You can sense when someone is texting you out of laziness. Her replies lack depth, effort, or enthusiasm. It's like she's doing the bare minimum to keep the conversation going, but without any genuine interest. A girl who's into you will text with excitement, energy, and will even get playful in conversations. If she's always lazy and half-hearted, it's time to take the hint. Sign 12. You're always the one to keep the conversation going. Finally, if you're always the one keeping the conversation going, that's a huge red flag. A healthy conversation should be a back-and-forth exchange where both people contribute equally. But if you find yourself constantly asking questions, coming up with topics, and doing all the heavy lifting, it's likely because she's not that interested. Conversation should feel natural and balanced. If you're putting in all the effort, it's time to recognize that it's probably one-sided. So there you have it, guys. 12 texting signs that she's just not that into you. Remember, you deserve someone who's excited to talk to you, who puts effort into the conversation, and who values your time. Don't settle for less. If you've noticed these signs, it might be time to step back and reevaluate the situation. Don't waste your time chasing someone who's not giving you the attention you deserve. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more dating advice, and drop a comment below if you've ever experienced any of these signs.